Hi guys, I'm Ryan Houston and welcome to my fly tying channel. This channel contains hundreds of different videos covering all manner of different patterns, techniques and styles of fly tying. There's something here to suit almost everybody, so hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, let's get on with the show. Hi guys, so we're going to tie a salmon shrimp fly, sort of a hybrid salmon shrimp fly tonight. So this is my version of a gold shrimp, and this would be my go-to fly when the fresh fish are running in sort of late June, July. And a lot of the time I'll almost fish two of these different sizes on the cast. So when I'm fishing on the lower river and I'm fishing a big fly, this is the hook I would use. So this is a loop black nickel. This one's a size 4. So it'd be 4s and 6s I would use in the loop for this pattern. So I'm going to use Textream fluorescent or hot orange thread on this. So I'm going to start that and run it down the shank. Till about the point of the hooks here. So I want a bit of a tag and I want some flash in the wing or in the tail also. So what I'm going to use is a strand of pearl crystal hair, and I'm just going to double that over underneath my thread. That'll allow it to slide in tight. 1 or 2 turns will hold it, and then I'm going to wrap this backwards and then through the legs of the hook and up and over, and tie that forward, and that's going to create the flash in my tail. So what I'll do is I'll cut that off and leave those strands sitting out forward. So tail, this is an Irish shrimp fly of sorts, but I've adapted it a little bit because when we get into the bigger flies, they tend to be used in heavier water anyway, and I think that the golden pheasant tail can collapse a little bit on, so I like to add boar bristles into this. So here I've got some orange boar with red tips, and I'm going to put a few of those in as the core of my tail. So this will give me the length of the tail, which you wouldn't normally be able to achieve with golden pheasant on its own. So I'll tie that down. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these 2 strands of crystal hair that we had and slip them round and tie them backwards on top of that and trim off the tag ends of that. So this just gives me a core of boar to the tail. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to add another bit of boar. So this is one that I've dyed in a golden pheasant sort of coloration. So it's a hot orange and fluorescent reds mixed into it. Shorter bristles, and this is going to create the sort of bulk of the boar tail. So I'm going to tie that bunch in there. Tie back to where my tag was. So this gives me a core for the heavier water. And I'm going to wrap a golden pheasant feather. Now this is one of the yellow feathers that has been dyed again, I suppose, towards a fluorescent normal golden pheasant breast colour. And the other effect of the boar is that you can use a smaller one of these, and given that these have become a whole lot harder to find, it means that you can adapt and use more feathers out of your skin. So I tie it in by the tip and fold it back, and then I'm just going to stroke that to double it, and wrap that on. So it's creating just like a hackle at the back. Tie the stalk forward, trim it off. So that gives me the sort of hybrid BOAR and GP tail to the shrimp fly. Right, so that then becomes the standard shrimp after this. So the rear of the fly I tie with a gold holographic flat braid. If you don't have that, use a standard braid, use gold holographic tinsel, whatever. I like to put just a little bit of super glue or super glue gel in the case of this on, just to wrap that into. Means that even if it gets nicked, it's going to stay together. So we come to the halfway point. Tie that in. And for our middle hackle, I'm going to use real fluorescent hot orange. This is a Chinese cock cape. And I tend to use quite a big feather in the center. So I'll strip that, grab it by the tip and double it over. So we have our techniques section of videos where you can check out doubling hackles if you want. So once I have it doubled, I tie it in just across the tip, one turn, fold it back and tie across the folded stalk. There's no way that's going to pull out, it'll have to break before it would give. And then I'll wrap that, and what I'll do is with each wrap I just let it go, but I keep my finger or thumb on this side, finger on the far side, just to fold the stalk back, keep it in line, and that will get it to wrap neatly without it sticking out at 90 degrees to the side of the hook. So when I run out of hackle, tie that off, turn the hackle stalk up underneath the hook there, and then trim that. And as you can see, I've used quite a long hackle here, but it just adds to the whole taper and shape of the shrimpiness to the fly, to my eye. So front part of the fly then, I would use a silver braid or a silver holographic braid. Tie that back up to where it meets the orange hackle. Generally this front section is a little bit shorter than the rear section. Tie that off. Trim it. And depending on the size of the fly, so this is quite a big fly. So what I would do when I add the jungle cock, I'd add it now, like a roof. Whereas when I dropped, I'd do that probably down to about a size 8. Below a size 8, then I would generally put eyes on the front rather than as we're going to put them on now. But again, that's a personal preference. So what I'll do here is I'll take 2 jungle cock feathers, I'll set them on top of each other and just strip them so that I've stripped them to the same points, lying on top of each other. And then I'm going to tie one on my side and one on the far side. So I'm actually using one of the little enameled portions here. Because that will allow it to sit the stalk flat against the hook. Try and tie it on this bit down here, it'll kick over to the side. Okay, so front of the fly then, I would use a badger hackle, and I would tend to go for a more honeyish sort of badger type. hackle. Some people maybe prefer a pure white badger, but my own preference with shrimp fillets, except for maybe a silver shrimp, would be to use this more off colour, and I think for a band special as well I tend towards this coloration. So again, I've stripped the hackle to the point where the white barring began. Then I'll double that, break off the tip that I'm not going to use, and then tie it in on the last bit. Fold it back as we did before and tie back, just creating a nice level place to wrap on, and then we'll wrap it the same as before. So just stroke back, pinch and hold, take another turn, push that back, grab it, allow the stock to settle itself again. Now when I'm on bare stock, tie across that. And then fold the stem back and make myself a hopefully neat head. What you will find with the loop doubles is that if you extend too far forward here, your whole eye will start, or your whole head will start slipping off towards the eye, so you have to sort of stop or gauge yourself and stop before you hit that point. And then I will finish this head off. Said I don't use a whip finish tool. If you do, use that. And then we'll varnish it. So I'll varnish it several times, but the first one is going to be a Cellier, Vineyard Cellier Clear. If you get a good new bottle of that there, it'll be really thin and watery, and that's very good for penetrating the wraps of your head and sealing it, and then afterwards you repeat, you put on more coats of that or swap to Sally Hansen Hard as Nails or something. But that is my version of a gold shrimp. As I said, it's sort of a gold hybrid shrimp in that we've used the BOAR bristles for the tail here. So as I said, my go-to fly for fresh fish on the River Mourne. So if you like what you've seen tonight, give us a like, subscribe, check out all the other videos on the channel and tell your friends. Until next time, tight lines. Thanks for watching.